Oh my goodness. So I'm a fool. I've been talking to the TV, I kid you not, for the last 6 minutes. I, I mean, not the TV, the computer monitor. I have been talking to the computer monitor. I swear I clicked live for that little 30-second countdown. And normally when I do that, I just turn live once those 30 seconds are over. So I'm like, hey, and I went through my whole spiel. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Coach Cruise. And I'm talking and I'm going through the whole show. And then I said, finally, after I run through all this stuff, I say, all right, let's get into this. And I'm starting to look at my notes here, and I look up and I see the live button is not red. So I have been talking to myself. I probably, a few people jumped off like, okay, I guess we're not going to start this show on time. So, oh my God, that's embarrassing. I think that's the first time I've done that. I've done some other stuff as embarrassing and maybe even more embarrassing, but yeah. So we're not off to a good start, but I hope you got a laugh out of that and it didn't bother you too much that I came on so late. So the show today is going to be, we're going to have a carnival draft. And what we're going to do with this carnival draft is we're going to draft the best options, some of the best things I think that are available if you cruise on a carnival ship. We're going to go through the different ship classes. I'm going to give you what I feel is the best one. And look at that. Let's highlight that right there. We got Carnival Cruise Addicts is a new YouTube member. Not only that, they're a new admin. And what's great about that, I did the membership thing finally, because so many of you, and again, those of you that don't, if you contribute with comments and just watching the videos and everything, appreciate it. But I realize some of you are wanting to contribute and help support the channel and help keep me going and all that, and I definitely appreciate that. So for $4.99 a month, you're going to get some extra perks. Like, for example, I've shot out about 4 or 5 videos that only the members get to see. I think I just set it up a few days ago, 3-4 days ago, whatever. I posted on the Coach Cruise Facebook page if you didn't see. And look at that. We got Rick the Texas Cruiser just joined and became a new member as well. And I'm going to have to update the little icon, because I had an emoji, a little GIF. It was a little dog and its little head went like that. And I guess YouTube is not running the GIF right or something. So I'm going to have to fix that. But yeah, thank you to the Texas Cruiser and CCA. We also have Cruise Life TV that joined. We have Mandy. Of course, we have admin Tim who joined. And Christy Curry was one of the people that joined as well. All right. And by the way, I said hello to all of you, to myself, because obviously I wasn't live, so none of you heard it. So let me go back and say hello to everybody once again. And I'm gonna sound like a broken record to myself, at least, because I just did all this. But Justin gets the gold again. Carnival Cruise Addicts with the silver. Mandy, she's on her way to a Braves game, so I'm not sure she's going to be with us. Will G is going to see Pat Benatar tonight, so he's not going to be with us, but he wanted to check in and say hi, so we appreciate that. Rick the Texas Cruiser, the newest member of the Coach Cruise members only section, and Rick and CCA can go and see all those informal videos that I just posted, and I'm excited to post a couple videos, because I sent to Carnival Corporate some kind of videos where I had the camera running, and I was just talking off air with some like cruise directors and things like that. But because those weren't, assigned questions or whatever ones that I got approved or whatever, there was nothing bad in there, nothing that's going to get anybody in trouble. But I'm saving those. But because I didn't explicitly get them approved through Carnival, I'm saving those for you members only. So you're going to get to see some of that behind the scenes stuff that nobody else will get to see. And it's mostly because I don't feel right making it public, because it didn't get explicitly approved. So privately, through a few members. You all, that'll be a little bonus thing that I throw in there coming up. All right, so the Texas Cruiser is doing a pre-show sip of tequila before we started. I hope that went down well. We got admin Tim, Eric, the North Shore Traveler. We got Ken Pascoe. I'm going to go through these a little quicker just because I messed up and started late here. Carnival Cruise Addicts, as I mentioned. Kimberly Lavelle is here once again. Ann Dolan is back saying hi, fun cruising peeps. And hello, Tricia and Bert are back once again. Good to see you all as always. Make sure I don't miss anybody. And Kimberly. Bellows Creek Cruiser is back. Good to see you. And let's see. Oh, Heather. Heather is here. Good to see you, Heather. Yvonne, that is my esthetician. Did I say that right? Esthetician. Yvonne is my esthetician. Say that 5 times fast. Melissa is coming to us on the Facebook side and says, hello, everyone. Good to see you. And I love seeing that big, bold green from the members only. So Carnival Cruise Addicts right there. I just came across. And Amy is here. Good to see you. Adele, Amy and Logan, I should say, if Logan's watching as well. Adele says, hey, Coach and everyone. I hope everyone had a great day. Adventures with Uncle Dave is here. Mark Booz is back in the house. Good to see you, Mark. Yoli is here. Says, haha, it's all good, Coach. There's times when I text someone and I forget to press the send button and I'm just waiting for a reply. Yeah, I mean, that's comparable. I got you on that. That's funny. Adventures with Uncle Dave. We got another, look at that, 3. This is a great way to start the show. 3 new members. I think that puts us up to like 7 or 8 in just a few days. So pumped about that. And again, it highlights you. And Tim, the only bad thing I think about being an admin is it doesn't give you the different color. But I mean, Tim and Carnival Cruise Addicts, I guess you guys are a different color because you're in blue and everybody else is in black. So unless they're a member, of course. So I guess it does change you. All right. And then Eric just joined. Great to see that. Eric from North Shore Travelers. Very cool. Thank you, sir. And Michelle B. and Sean Abel. Carnival Cruise Addicts. Sean is asking when your next cruise is, if you didn't see that. And so let's get started. Regards to the super chats carrying over from last week. Cruise Life TV has numbers 1 through 40. Chris Moss, 41 through 55. Rick, the Texas Cruiser, has 56 through 60. Danny D, the Spectacular Supporter, has numbers 61 and 62. And Eric from North Shore Travelers has numbers 63 and 64. So we are only 36 away from giving away a shirt. Zoe, come here. Come on. All right. And we got Zoe up here. And Zoe and I have been doing a whole lot of walking. The new members know just how much. But yeah, we'll get into that. Okay, so let's get into this draft. Let me just take a sip here. Done a lot of talking there. All right. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the best free food options on Carnival, excluding the XL class. And the reason I'm excluding the XL class in this first draft is because, there are different free options on the XL class because it's such a bigger ship. I mean, not everybody gets the opportunity to go on an XL ship, and still the predominant number of ships that Carnival has, don't have some of the amenities of the bigger ships. So that's why I'm excluding it. So here are the choices that I'm going to choose from to give you my top 1 or 2. All right. So best free food options, excluding XL, is the Mongolian Wok. That is free for lunch. Guy's Burgers, the Blue Iguana Cantina, free for breakfast and lunch, your tacos, your burritos, your huevos rancheros. The deli is very good. Most ships have some kind of sea day barbecue. And then, of course, you have your pizza. All right. So I got the noise ready and everything for you here. So let me get that ready. All right. Oh, wait a minute. It's not working now. Okay. I don't know what's going on. Okay. You know what? Forget it. I had that little NFL draft noise, when it makes a pick or whatever, and for whatever reason, it is not playing on my phone. I don't know why. Okay. All right. I guess you don't get any sound. Sorry about that. All right. So, best free food option, and I'm going to give you two. My top two choices between the for all of these possible free choices: the Mongolian Walk, Guy's Burgers, Blue Iguana, the Deli, Sea Day Barbecue, and Pizza. My best two choices. Number one, the Blue Iguana Cantina with the tacos and the burritos. Tacos specifically for me, they're consistently good. Guy's Burgers used to be number one for me, and they are my second choice among the class. Um, but I see Tammy there saying Mongolian Walk, and Kimberly says Blue Iguana, so she's with me on that. Whatever floats your boat. Blue Iguana chicken tacos. There you go. Cheryl says Guys for me. I know Tricia and Bert says Guys Burgers. Yeah, so and there's several of you. I think most people are going to pick Guys Burgers. As a matter of fact, let's go through and get everybody. Texas Cruiser says barbecue on V. Tim says Guys Burgers. Heather Guys Burgers. Carnival Cruise Addicts, give me that pizza. They're one of the few pizzas. Mongolian Walk on the barbecue is very close, though. Ann says pizza. All right, so pizza got more love than I thought it would. Eric's doing Guys Burgers. Guys is the winner amongst the audience. So if that makes Kimberly and I are together, we're eating tacos without y'all. And let's see, I think we had another. Melissa says Blue Iguana love their breakfast. Yeah, they do have good breakfast there. And Party on the Sea is here. Bellows Creek Cruiser says Magic's Pig and Anchor. Okay. And that's free. The Sea Day Barbecue. Not a lot of people. Ricky McElroy is saying the Guys Burgers. Cruise Life TV is watching from bed on TV. Oh, I'm sorry. We got a deli vote. Okay. I like to see that because the deli is very good. And I don't get there too often anymore. And I should because I got some really good sandwiches. Party on the Sea is going with Mongolian Walk. Sean says Blue Iguana would be my choice. However, the deli is pretty good. The deli is very underrated. I agree with that. Okay, let's move on just because I'm going to include the XL class as well in this next section. Okay, so best free food including the XL class. All right, so you have and please feel free. The comments are blowing up and that's awesome. Best free food including the XL class. So you got your street eats on the XL class. Those are those three little, shop street style, where they give you an appetizer type portion, and that changes each day. The menu changes, or what they're offering the day changes throughout the cruise, which is nice. So you get some different taste. So that's a nice thing. And there's three of those. So you can get, Time Fries is my favorite one, but I realize some of you may not have been on an XL class ship yet. So that's why I didn't mention it in, the best free options. Okay, across from there, you have Blue Iguana Cantina, just like all the other Carnival ships, your free tacos, your free burritos, all that stuff. One deck up from there, you have Guys Burgers. Okay. All right. So, everybody knows about Guys. You do have the deli down on deck 8. And then in the back of the ship, you have Shack's Chicken. Did I forget any? Okay. So I'm going to stop there because two of those are my top choices. So my top choice among the best free food that is including the XL class, number one, and this is going to be disappoint some of you based on your previous answers, but Shaq's Chicken. Shaq's Chicken, and maybe part of the reason is it's not on every ship. So, I'm not always cruising on an XL class ship, so I don't always get to eat it, which might make it taste better since I don't get the option to eat it all the time. But the Uncle Jerome chicken sandwich is so good. So good. I don't know what it is, the sauce, the big juicy chicken piece of chicken that's on there, but it's so good to me. And guys burgers is great, but my second choice actually is still going to be the tacos. I mean, because you get some choices with the tacos. I mean, you can get chicken, you can get pork, you can get fish, and sometimes you can get shrimp. So I'm going Shaq's Chicken and the Blue Iguana for second place for amongst the XL class. Now, I see Heather, said shebang. Now, the reason I didn't mention shebang as a free option is because that's going to be in a separate class. That class that's going to be his best free sit down options, the best free sit down options. And I realize technically you're sitting down at all of these places, but what I mean by sit down is you're going to a table and you're having a server serve you. Whereas if you go to Shaq's Chicken, you pick up your sandwich and you walk somewhere. If you go to Guy's Burgers, you get your Guy's Burger and you walk off and go find your own seat or something like that. So we have a separate category, Heather, for that, and that's why I didn't mention them. But let's go through and see what everybody said. Eric from North Shore Travelers, he's with me. He says Shaq's. Cruise Life TV says, I feel like how I was on our cruise. Let's share what I've got, but I have nobody to blame it on. All right. Party on the Sea says Street Eats. Okay. I like that. Party on the Sea, Shaq's. Tammy says Shaq's. Okay. So there's more people in agreement with me here. And then Heather, like I said, I'm going to, Trisha and Bert, Street Eats. Okay. We got a couple Street Eats. I like that. Kimberly Lavelle, still Blue Iguana. And again, that was my second choice, but a serious tie with Guy's Burgers, Blue Iguana, Pizza. All right. And Carnival Cruise Addicts. I don't know what the moist was in reference. Oh, moist chicken, maybe. Oh, Heather says Chebang for lunch. I didn't know. I knew they did lunch on one of the last days, but I didn't know they did it every day. Maybe that's C days that they do it. But I do remember them telling us they did that for lunch. Cheryl says Chebang is good. And Carnival Cruise Addicts, yeah, the song She Bangs, She Bangs. All right. And yeah, okay. So that gets us through that. All right. Now, this, and I'm getting to the part why I didn't include Chebang and some of these other free restaurants. All right, because we have the buffet, okay? And at the buffet, you are getting your food and going and sitting down somewhere, but it's more dinner type food, lunch type food, a variety of options. It's not a singular option. So that's why I'm including the buffet in a sit down type thing. The main dining room, all right? You have Sea Day barbecue at sea. You have Sea Day brunch. Yeah. So out of those four, the top free option for me is the main dining room. I think back in the day, Sea Day brunch, when it was a lot better and it had a more extensive menu, could have given a real fight for that top honor among sit down free meals. But I got to go with the main dining room. I mean, on longer cruises, you have two formal nights that have, a better menu. And even on some of the non-formal nights, they have some unique things. I don't know how many of you have tried their salads, but they have a different salad on the menu each night. And I've been trying those salads and they are wonderful. So if nothing is striking your fancy, one thing you can do is you can order, I don't know how many people know this, but you can get 2 entrees. It doesn't cost you anything. If you get more than 2 entrees, it'll cost you. And you can get as many appetizers as you want. So if there are two entrees that sound really good and the appetizers really are like you can take them or leave them, whatever. One thing you could do, like that salad, for example, you could say, hey, could I have whatever the salad of the day is for my appetizer? And then for my main entree, I want, beef Wellington or whatever it is. And you can do that. And then so, instead of getting like 2 or 3 appetizers, just get yourself a big old salad and then have your entree and the dessert, whatever you want to do. And they will let you do that. Another thing I like to do to save time is rather than wait for each little appetizer to be brought, and sometimes they do this on their own anyway. But if you order 2 or 3 appetizers, I always tell them, I'm like, just bring them all at the same time. That way, it's not waiting till you finish. And then if they get busy, you're sitting there for a while and then they get the plate and go get you another one. It just takes too long. It's going to be at dinner for forever. I mean, some people like that. So if you do, then obviously ignore that. But if you want to save some time, you could go with that. Eric is saying C-Day brunch. He's still a fan of the C-Day brunch. Rick is saying C-Day barbecue. Okay. Got a barbecue fan there. I like it. And let's see. You all are talking and joking. I don't know. Okay, let's see. We did C-Day brunch from Tammy. All right. Kimberly says main dining room has a better menu. I agree. Carnival Cruise Addicts, C-Day brunch used to be so much better. So agree with you, Coach. But we are buffet peeps. I know why you're buffet peeps, because you don't want to take that extra time in the main dining room. You want to get your food and get back in the casino. I know what your plan is. I know that's the deal. Scott, we got Scott from Controversial Cruising. What up, Scott? Good to see you. Whatever floats your boat is saying hi as well. Texas Cruiser, I prefer specialty restaurants for at least 3 nights of the cruise, and I'm going to get into that. I did not leave the specialty restaurants out, and I might have a surprise pick. Adele says C-Day brunch and barbecue. Carnival Cruise Addicts says exactly. Precious casino time. Can't be wasting time in the main dining room. I hear you. Tony is saying, hey to everybody. North Shore Travelers, very true, Coach. Buffet is quicker and main dining room wastes gambling time. Yeah. Well, you know what? You guys are good gamblers. I mean, I haven't been gambling near as much, and it's been saving me a lot of money. So I don't know what I was doing wrong. It seems like the less I gamble, the more I win. Like this last time, I barely went in there. I only went in 2 nights, and I actually walked away a few $100s ahead. But I feel like if I'd have been going in there every day, like I would have lost like easy over $1,000. I mean, I just feel like that would have been the case. Pardon me. Okay. All right. Next category. We have best specialty dining non-XL class, because the XL class has so much more specialty dining. So I don't think it's fair. Again, there are so many Carnival ships that aren't the big mega ships. We're talking about the Mardi Gras, the Celebration, and the Jubilee. Every other ship, has limited specialty dining. So we're going to cover that next. All right. So the best specialty dining on a non-XL class ship. Cucina. If there's only one specialty dining outside of the steakhouse, it is usually Cucina del Capitano, the Italian restaurant. And I believe the charge to get into Cucina now and most of the other places is $24 a person. And that's, a lot of your Italian fare and stuff like that. And they have some very good options. Okay. The steakhouse, which is, I believe right now, $48 or $49 per person. And just great steaks. You can choose to get a lobster. You can choose to get shrimp. You can choose to get lamb chops. You get 2 really nice appetizers, and a dessert is included in that. The chef's table. The chef's table is an experience. And I would suggest doing that on some type of special occasion, or if this is a very special vacation for whatever reason, maybe do a chef's table if you haven't done one. They are amazing. The only problem with the chef's table, to be quite honest, is they're getting really expensive, especially on the XL class ships. I think they're like $150 a person. I mean, they used to be as little as like $79, $89 on some of the smaller ships. Then it was $99. And then now I think, pretty much across the board, they're over $100 per person. And, I've done a few of them, but I'm just like, yeah, you know what? I've done enough of them. Probably at that price, I'm going to pass. Okay. I didn't, you know what? I guess I could have put GG's, but GG's is only on a couple ships, primarily the Vista class ships. So I didn't include them, even though I like them. Okay, and then we have bonsai sushi. Some form of sushi is just on about every ship. Okay, so since there weren't a lot of choices there, the chef's table is amazing. I'm not saying it's better than the steakhouse, but for 3 times the price, the steakhouse is better. And for just twice the price of Cucina, the steakhouse is better, in my opinion. So for your smaller ships, that only have, say, a steakhouse and a Cucina and a chef's table, if you're going to, I mean, if it's a very special occasion, I go ahead and do the chef's table. But if you're just looking for a really good meal and, $50 for the steakhouse, I'm going with that versus up to $150 at the chef's table. Bonsai sushi, that's kind of a la carte. We're going to get to I included teppanyaki in the XL class in the next category. I see your question there. So let's see what some of you thought. Scroll back up here. Trisha and Bert, you said GG's, and yeah, GG's. It's just they're not on many ships is the reason why I didn't go with that. Sean says steakhouse, Texas Cruiser Steakhouse, Carnival Cruise Addict Steakhouse. Trisha and Bert always want to do chef's table. I would definitely do it. You guys should definitely do it. Do it one time. It's a really cool experience, and it is an experience. I mean, it's not just a really good meal. It is an experience. And actually, I did a video. If you go through my video collection, you will find a video where I videoed pretty much the entire chef's table just last year. I think it was in June. I believe it was in June of last year. So it would have been about, 9-10 months ago, something like that. You can find that and kind of get an idea what it's like and see if you would like that. Mr. Duckman coming over from Facebook says, how you doing, Coach? This is Mr. Duckman. I just missed you on the Jubilee. I got on as you was getting off. Have a good evening. I appreciate that. Thanks for chiming in. And look at that. We got the Texas Cruiser. It says, good stuff tonight, Coach. Even for a Royal guy. I appreciate that. And Rick, that gets us to 69. 69. If this was the match game on Friday nights with Carnival Cruise Addicts, Cruise Live TV, and Controversial Cruising, I'm pretty sure somebody would guess sausage. Just saying. Okay. If you know, you know. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you haven't seen their show. All right. Controversial Cruising says, don't forget to smash that like for our favorite coach. I appreciate that. Kimberly Lavelle says, I know, right, Liz? It's a total tie. Steakhouse, Tim, but this was Rick's, so Zoe can have a treat. All right, Zoe, you want a treat? You got Edmund, Tim, and Rick have tag teamed to give you a treat. High five for a treat. What do you say to him? What do you say? She says thank you. And you know what? Just because I'm a little parched, you guys are going to get double bang for your buck. Look at that. You know what? I don't have much left there, and I didn't bring a backup bottle, so there we go. I mean, there's probably what, maybe 5 shots in there. We're gonna do one right now because appreciate you getting us started. So Rick and Tim, cheers. And Tim, you are numbers 70 through 74. Look at that. Chris Moss is back. Chris Moss sausage just got off work. Coach and Zoe need another treat. I love it. All right. So let's see. Let's do math here. Oh, look at that. You evened up my math for me even. This is awesome. Okay. So look, you are 75 through 90, which means we're only 10 away. Let's get that one on the screen. You helped my math out, Chris. I appreciate that. All right. We'll get this shot filled up, and Zoe's still working on that treat, but I'm going to set this one right in front of me. So when she's done with it, she can hop up here and I'll give her that one next. Whew, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. All right, let's see here. Rick finished his tequila. Good job. Oh, you're on Buffalo Trace right now. Okay, very good. I got to get some more Buffalo Trace. I mean, Buffalo Trace is hit or miss. It's like it sells out so fast that there's a lot of times you're lucky if it's on there. Oh, thank you for that. Carnival Cruise Addicts link to join the membership. And again, the membership is only $4.99 a month, and you get a bunch of extra stuff. The other thing, here's an idea I had. I'm trying to come up with fun ideas exclusively for members. So I'm becoming like, who is that lady that bought a ridiculous amount of shoes? I mean, I know there's a lot of ladies that buy a lot of ridiculous amount of shoes, but like way back, like when I was a kid, we're talking about 30 years. There's some ladies had like thousands of pairs of shoes or something like that. So these hats, the Raiders and the Cubs, and I get a lot of Cubs hats. I am a big Cubs fan, but because of the Coach Cruise thing, and it says C on it, and my whole thing is Coach. And then I try to get some of the hats that have a little blue in them for like ocean type thing and all that other stuff. But so like members, for example, at least starting off, when we just have a few members, I was going to let you all pick out a hat. So maybe I can have a member of the week type of thing. And then I swear I have these hats hooked on the back of I had to get a thing to hold all of my hats, but I probably have over 20 hats of Raiders and Cubs. So I was gonna do like a member of the week thing and let you pick out the hat that I wear on the show for that following week or something. I don't know. That was one idea I had. So, but yeah, Carnival Cruise Addicts shared the membership link in there. If anybody would like to join, I appreciate it. And look at that, we got Trisha and Bert. Boom, just like that. Right after that, I appreciate that. And let's see, and then you get your name in color, like Rick the Texas Cruiser. His is in green. And yeah, I like that. Heather Clemmer going to the Buffalo Trace Distillery. Oh, that's something I so want to do. So I keep talking to my buddies about that. From Chicago, I think it'll be about a 6-7 hour drive. But I keep saying we got to make that a weekend trip, and we got to go down there and do that. I totally want to do that. Let me know how that experience is for you. Seriously, message me and tell me all the details. Oh my God. Amy says it's underwater now. That's not good. Yeah. Hope not. Well, I hope it, stop raining at least. Okay. So, here, Zoe, come here. Chris Moss hooked you up. High five. High five, Chris Moss. High five. What do you say? She says, thank you, Chris. And once again, I thank you. All right, members, go to Key West and buy Coach some hats along with Detroit Tiger hats. This could be good. Oh, wait. Pump the brakes. Be careful the hats that you buy me. I'll wear a Detroit Tiger hat, but if somebody buys me a Kansas City hat or something like that, or if somebody buys me a St. Louis Cardinal, I don't care if you're a St. Louis Cardinal fan or a Kansas City Chief fan or whatever, but as a Raiders fan and as a Cubs fan, there are certain teams that by law, I'd be like arrested by the Chicago Cub police, or the Raiders police if I adorned certain teams' colors in a, like I would have to lose a bet or something. I don't think I would ever even make a bet that involved me wearing Kansas City Chief gear. And I know there are followers of the channel that are Kansas City. I'm jealous of you. I'm not trying to put your team down or anything. I'm just saying I can't root for them because they're in the Raiders division. It's just a law. We don't have to hate each other, but we got to kind of hate each other's team. At least until we're eliminated, which the Raiders, they're one game away from being eliminated, and the first game of the season hasn't even started. That's how bad my team is usually. But I'm excited because everybody's undefeated now. And it's the draft, and who knows? We could draft somebody good this year instead of drafting somebody bad like we usually do. Although we did draft Brock Bowers last year, and he's really, really good. So happy about that. And look at that. We got another new member, one Mr. Chris Moss. I appreciate that, sir. And you know what? Yeah, I would wear an Astros hat because they're in the other league. And I have friends down in Houston, Rick, as I mentioned. Mark and Laura watch the show from time to time. And I was just down there. They're the ones who took me to that barbecue place, Killen's Barbecue, and took us to Buc-ee's and took us to the Waffle House. If you watch that cruise day video for the Jubilee, the gentleman you see there with Aaron and I is Mark, and his wife is Laura. But they drove us around the night before, and we had a great time hanging out, eating barbecue. Went into a couple you got some really nice bars down in Texas, really nice bars, amazing. And I put that on the cruise day video as well. So Tim says Steelers hat. Tim, begrudgingly for you and Andrew and Yoli, I guess. I could wear a Steelers hat. They're not in our division, even though you guys talk a little trash against my Raiders. Maybe. We'll talk about it. Armasi says, I agree, Tim. Steelers. All right. We got a couple Steelers fans. Now, the Steelers are cool. They're old school, blue collar. That's Bell's Creek Cruiser says Braves and Cubs. All right. Texas Cruiser, Killen's Barbecue is not far from my house. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's where I went, Rick. And it was very good. Very good. Sean says it's still weird to me that the Astros are, it skipped up in the American League. Yeah. You know what? I'm starting to get used to it. YouTube is not putting my super chat through. I did it several times. If there is a lag and they all come through, you will have to call in sick tomorrow. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, Michelle. Yoli, she's still watching. I wasn't sure. We hadn't heard her in the comments in a minute. I thought she was in the hot tub already, but good to see you're still watching, Yoli, and paying attention to the Raiders-Steelers talk here. Yeah, Steelers-Raiders were huge rivals. Yeah, how about that game where the Steelers got away with cheating and that ball hit the ground, but the immaculate reception, the immaculate incompletion, rather, that led to the Steelers beating the Raiders? I remember that. Well, actually, I don't. I didn't see that. I was too young, or I might have been born by then, but I was too young to be following it. But yeah, that happened. Raiders got cheated. The Raiders got cheated when they sacked Tom Brady and made him fumble. Charles Woodson, you all remember that one? And it was a total fumble. And they got rid of the tuck rule after they cheated the Raiders out of making the Super Bowl. And then that was one of the first Super Bowls, I think the first Super Bowl, maybe the second, that Tom Brady won with the Patriots. If you would have not had that stupid tuck rule, the Raiders would have been the Super Bowl, and maybe we would have 4 Super Bowls now. I don't know. Yeah, Sean says tuck rule. But I appreciate Tom Brady because he is a Raider now. He's a part owner of the Raiders and he's doing good things with the Raiders. At least I think he is. Melissa says, "Go Cowboys." I have some good friends down in Florida that are big Cowboys fans. Rod and Vicky, and then we got Sandy and Nora. Rick, I don't know if you're a Cowboys fan or not. I know Mark and Laura, they're Houston Texans fans. But yeah. Chris says, so no White Sox hat. How about the team that beat the Bears in their last Super? I could wear a Colts hat. Yeah, I could do that. But again, if you all are getting me hats, don't spend a lot of money on them because, I mean, the only time I would wear it is honestly on this show. If I did something like that where, you know, it was your member spotlight or whatever, that would be about the only time, because the rest of the time I'm going to wear my Cubs hats and my Raiders. Those are my two. Kimberly Lavelle says a hat from Jamaica with braids. I could do that. But my favorite ship is the Carnival Magic and all XL ships. Yes. You know, let's transition. We're going to get to that. Okay. We hadn't even finished the food. Best specialty dining, including Bonsai Teppanyaki, the Steakhouse, Rudy's Seafood Grill, Rudy's Sea Grill, whatever it's called. They do seafood. It's like a steakhouse type of thing, but seafood, right? I included this one, even though it's only on 2 ships, because of one thing. The Mile High Gelato Pie is to die for. If you go on the Carnival Venezia, which I'll be on, that's my next cruise, or the Firenze, okay, they have this restaurant called Il Viaggio. I think it's Il Viaggio. It's Viaggio. I don't forget what the first part is. I think it's Il Viaggio. Mile High Gelato Pie. I'm telling you, I mean, you remember how big the cheesecake slices used to be in the steakhouse? And everybody like raved about the cheesecake, and then it was just like too big. And it was too big. It was ridiculous. You couldn't eat the whole thing, especially having that big steakhouse and everything. And then they shrunk the cheesecake slice. You know what's still that big? The Mile High Gelato Pie. And it is awesome. Like, I almost want to skip the meal and say, you know what, just get rid of that. Just bring me a whole Mile High Gelato Pie and just let me go to work. It is so good. I loved it so much. I went twice. The first time I was in the Venezia, and I think the second time was just so I could eat another slice of the Mile High Gelato Pie. Not even kidding. So Il Viaggio included it on there for that reason. Chabang. And you might be saying, wait, that's not a specialty restaurant. You can eat for free there. Correct. But they do have a specialty option on there. And those of you that watch all of my videos, you know what I'm talking about. The duck. They have the duck, the Peking duck that you can buy. And I had heard about this, and one of you told me about it and said it was amazing. So like for 3 cruises, each time I got on an XL class ship, I went to Jabang and I said, hey, I want the duck. And for whatever reason, they said, oh, we can't do it. Or you're going to have to give us some advance notice or, you know, whatever else like that. This time we went and they had 1 duck left. And the duck, okay, it's only $20 per person. And for that $20, you get a chef. Once your duck is finished, you get a chef who comes out and he wheels out a cart. He wheels out this nice size cart, and it's got your duck on it along with an assortment of sides and whatever else like that. And he tells you all about the duck, how it was prepared, how long it was in spices and marinating, and how long they cooked it, and, you know, just all the preparation and everything else like that. He cuts it up into little pieces. He wraps it up into little rolls. If you want it, he, you know, cuts it and just the meat and separates everything. He cuts it up into wings. I mean, does the whole thing. It's this big performance, you know, where you have your own personal chef, you know, talking to you and explaining all this stuff and then cutting it all up for you. And it's great. It's great. It was like one of the best things ever, and only $20 per person. Okay, so that I'm including in the specialty dining. The chef's table, once again, But again, the chef's table is absolutely amazing. And I suggest everybody try it at least one time. Save up a little money. It's going to cost you $250 to $300 for a couple, but it's an experience. It's an experience. And like, I don't think you're going to come out of there and say, like, oh, that was a waste of money. I really think you'll come out of there and be like, wow, okay, yeah, this was cool. I mean, it was a lot of money, but I hope you say it was worth it. I think it's worth it. I wouldn't say it's worth it to do every single cruise, but one time for sure, or once every couple years, whatever, for a very special occasion. Yeah, for sure. And then, okay, I think that's it. So Teppanyaki, Steakhouse, Rudy Sea Grill, Il Viaggio, the Chebang Duck, and the Chef's Table. What's your top choice there of the specialty dining? Okay, as if I didn't give it away already. For the money, the teppanyaki is the thing where they chop up. You can get lobster. It's just a little less than the steakhouse. Rudy Sea Grill is about the same price as the steakhouse. The steakhouse, again, about $50 a person. Chef's Table, all the way up to, as possible, as much as $150, depending upon the ship. Il Viaggio is about 40 some odd dollars per person, but the duck, $20 per person. That is my number one specialty option, including the XL class. Next time you all go on an XL class ship, we're talking about the Mardi Gras, we're talking about the celebration, we're talking about the Carnival Jubilee. You go to Chebang ahead of time and talk to the maitre d' or the hostess or whatever, and you say, I want this duck. I want this duck. Coach told me that this is an amazing experience, that it's only $20 per person, and I want to experience it. So what do we got to do? Do we got to come early? What time do we got to come? We want to get one of these ducks, because they only prepare like 3 or 4 of them a night, is what I'm told. So once those 3 or 4 are gone, that's it. They can't do more than that, because it takes like 2 days of preparation for each one of these ducks. That's the reason they can't prepare more than that, because, if nobody buys it, then it would be a waste of a duck, right? That duck would go to waste. So that's why they have to do it that way. But the Chebang duck is my number one choice. If I had to take a second choice out of those, it would be a tough call. I'd probably still go steakhouse. Teppanyaki has a lot of good qualities about it. I've heard people argue that, and I don't disagree. I'd probably still go steakhouse though. But for the money, for only $20 per person, I'm telling you, you have to try that Chebang duck. It's so good. Okay, so let's see what everybody says. Mandy's back in the house. Oh, she's at the Braves game. I see, Mandy. I told everybody you were at the Braves game, and the Mr. Duckman has had that duck, so he knows. Michelle B says, "Oh, I can't eat a little ducky." What, Michelle? It might encourage you to know it's not a little ducky. It's a big ducky. It's a big ducky. So maybe that'll make a difference. But let's see. Texas Cruiser been spending way too much time around Chris. Well, they're married, so let's see. That's funny. About 29 years around Chris, yeah. Tim says Chebang. I don't know if he's referring to that. I know they like Chebang. I don't know if they're talking about that because of the duck, or Kimberly Lavelle says Chef's Table, but I never did any of these. Tim says Chebang. That's totally okay. Yeah, absolutely. 29 years. That is an accomplishment. Kimberly says the duck sounds delicious. And let me back up here, because Michelle, it did. It came through. Look at that. She says, cheers. Maybe if my chat goes through. Zoe, come here. Come on up here. And you know what? The great thing about that, Michelle, come on, is you put us over 100. So your numbers 91 through 100, but you're also numbers 1 through 5 for our next thing here. So I think it was Greg. He was making fun of me on the doing the Siri thing, the 1 through 100. But we're gonna do it anyway. So Cruise Life TV, Greg, who's sick in bed, or maybe it's Michelle. But here you see the screen is blank. And let me go through the numbers here. Cruise Life TV has numbers 1 through 40. They got a 40% chance. They got the best odds of anybody. Chris actually might be close on those odds. He has numbers 41 through 55. Rick, the Texas Cruiser, 56 through 60. Danny D, the Spectacular Supporter, 61 through 62. Eric from North Shore Travelers, 63 and 64. Rick, once again, 65 through 69. Tim, 70 through 74. Chris, 75 through 90. And then Michelle, 91 through 100. All right, let's see who's got this once again. Siri, give me a random number 1 through 100. 10. And that's Cruise Life TV. Greg and Michelle, they had numbers 1 through 40. All right, so they win these shirts. And congratulations, Greg and Michelle. You're sick, and hopefully that cheers you up just a little bit. So appreciate that. And yeah, so okay, I think we're caught up. Oh, wait, new comments. Let's get down there. Yes, congratulations. Cruise Life TV says, yay. Chris is a great bartender. I saw the drink because, you know what, Texas Cruiser, I'm glad you mentioned that. I saw Chris make Liz a drink. It was a skinny drink on one of the members only videos. See, if you all were members only Carnival Cruise Addicts, and I know Texas Cruiser is, you would see some behind the scenes personal informal stuff like Chris making Liz a drink. It was a skinny drink, and I think she likes hers with some bubbles on top and more cranberry juice because it was diet, so it needed to add a little more cranberry juice. So yeah. Let's see what Eric says. Wife and I love teppanyaki, but to be fair, it's the only specials dining we have had so far. And you know what, Eric, I'm telling you, only $20 a person. Only $20 a person. Make sure, because I know you're going on the Jubilee. I forget what month it is you're going on the Jubilee. But when you go on that Jubilee, you make a point to get that done. I mean, it's only cost you $40. So even if you don't like it, but I can almost guarantee you, not only will you like it, I think you're going to love it. So yeah, you got to definitely check that out. Okay. Texas Cruiser says, yes, that was a great video on CCA. And Duckman says, thanks for a good show, Coach. I'll catch you on the next one. I appreciate that. We are getting down around the last 10 minutes. Well, there we go. So Kimberly Lavelle, go ahead and message me. Look at that. Greg and Michelle from Cruise Life TV says they would like to gift you their victory. So let me know, message me what type of shirt you want with your address and everything and the size. And if it's one of the old school shirts or traditional shirts, I will let you know what colors I have depending upon the size that you would like. If it's one of my new design shirts, the Party Squad one, then that one is only in black. Okay. But I have that in every size up to 2XL. So you can just let me know. Frankie Floyd is in the house. He says, running late, but 10 days until our next cruise. Awesome, Frankie. Good stuff. Michelle says, I liked Bonsai. I think it was on Horizon across the piano bar. They had a really good chicken skewers. All right. We're going to move on. The best class of ship. Best class of ship on Carnival. Is it the XL class? The XL class, as we just mentioned, has the Mardi Gras, the Celebration, and the Jubilee. Is it the Vista class that has the Vista, the Horizon, and the Panorama? Is it the Dream class that has the Dream, the Magic, the Breeze? Or is it the Conquest class that has, I forget all the ships in the Conquest class, but you probably know. Or is it the Spirit class, which the Spirit, the Legend, the Miracle, And there might be one other one that I'm forgetting about. All right. So I will wait for the comments to see what your favorite class of ship is. And then I'm going to give you my favorite class. And I'm even going to give you the specific ship within that class that is my favorite. All right. So let's see. Let's see in the comments who likes what. Cruise Live TV loves the Vista. Adventures with Uncle Dave. Dream class for sure. CCA says, don't get something too large regarding the shirt. The traditional shirts, by the way, I think are run just a little bit larger, whereas the new shirts are more true to size. Texas Cruiser says, I love the Breeze and the Dream class, and this is from a Royal guy. Okay. Justin says, for me, it's the XL class. Look at that. Justin's been watching. See, Justin, you caught me with there because I thought you were the guy that saw the show being advertised and then jumped in there and made sure you got your gold medal for being the first comment. And then I wasn't sure if you watched all the time, and here you are watching. So yeah, there we go. We got a comment from Justin. Look at that. We're going to put him on the screen. And we met on an XL class ship, so that doesn't surprise me. Let's see. Who else is putting their favorite class of ship down? Chris says the Vista and the Horizon. So he is a Vista class person. Trisha and Bert says Vista class, but still love the sunshine due to the restaurants. Michelle B, Vista class. If they had atrium and glass elevators, bring back glass elevators. All caps. All right. Then Party on the Sea. Vista class. Second is the XL Celebration. Sean says Vista class, no contest. Adventures with Uncle Dave. I have a new fondness for the smaller ships as well. I really like the Miracle. You know what? Adventures with Uncle Dave, I'm going on the Miracle, and I'm excited about it. I actually switched from the Carnival Horizon to the Carnival Miracle for Thanksgiving. It wasn't because I don't like the Carnival Horizon. Talk more about that in just a few seconds. It's more because I've done the Horizon so much, and I'm doing a back-to-back on the Horizon the end of the summer, right before the school year starts. So I'm like, okay, I did the Horizon, I think Thanksgiving, and then I'm doing it twice the end of the summer, and I'd done it the previous year, whatever. So I'm like, I've done a lot of Horizon, and I'm like, let me get on a different ship. So I switched it to the Carnival Miracle. And I was watching a ship tour the other day on the Carnival Miracle, and I'm like, you know what? I dig some of these older little ships, and I'm super pumped about it. So yeah, I'm pumped about going on the Miracle. And it's out of Tampa, I believe. So looking forward to that. And okay, so my top ship, which I'm mildly surprised that so many of you are in agreement, but I also picked the Vista class. The Vista class, the Carnival Horizon of the Vista class ships is my favorite. Now, if you can get me into the Havana area on a Vista class ship, that is the best place to be in Carnival, I think. On the Vista class on an XL ship is half as good, maybe not even half as good. Okay. They don't have a big pool right out behind the bar. They don't have two big hot tubs. They got one little tiny pool way off in the corner hanging off the side of the ship. And the one time that I stayed there, the pool was freezing cold, freezing. You could barely even get in, and it was so cold. So yeah, not a big fan of the Havana area in the XL class for Carnival. But if you get in the Havana area on the Vista class, it is a fun party all week. You don't have to fight for space in the pool. There aren't little kids snorkeling in there. I mean, the youngest a kid can be back there is 12. And honestly, the 3 or 4 times that I've stayed in the Havana area, I've barely even seen a kid. Like I think like the few kids that do stay in the Havana area don't feel comfortable there, or their parents don't feel comfortable bringing them back, so you don't even see them. So, I mean, if you want to go up to the hot tubs and have a kid snorkeling, in the hot tub with you, then yeah. I mean, you escape all that when you you get a spot in the Havana area. So yeah, I'm all about that. Um, Frankie Floyd says Horizon is overrated. I mean, you know what? I don't know. I'm not saying it's be all end all. It's just of the carnival offerings. The thing I like about it is a guy's pig and anchor bar. So I'm a late night person. I'm not an early riser. If you've seen from my videos, there's times I'm getting off the ship at like noon, when we dock at like 8 and things like that. I know Carnival Cruise Addicts, I know they're morning risers, so they're the opposite of me. But um, Guy's Pig and Anchor is the late bar. So when all the bars close down, everybody's partying, Guy's Pig and Anchor. And they got great bourbons there. And they got the best Bloody Mary at sea, at Guy's Pig and Anchor. You can get that, So, I mean, that's cool. Like on all the other ships, the late night bar is usually like a casino bar or something. And, that's okay, but it's not quite as good. So that's kind of why I like that. But all right. Sean says bigger ships can't sail out of Tampa. They won't fit under the Sunshine Skyway Bridge, and that's the only way to the Gulf. And yeah, you know what? That is a cool experience too, going under that bridge. It's fun because it looks like you might not fit under there, and then you do. And yeah, that's it. So yeah, Trisha and Bert says, yes, Bloody Mary is the bomb. All right. The last thing I have for you are the top excursions that came to mind that I've done. Okay, so Stingray City in Grand Cayman. That's a carnival destination. All right, that is they boat you out to this little waist deep area of the ocean, like a big old sandbar, where stingrays, for whatever reason, are prevalent. And they just swim up there, and they're so trained and so used to people that these guys on the boats, they'll just pick them up and let you hold them, and they'll set them on your back, and they let you feed them little shrimp and fish and things like that by just putting it in your hand, and they go and suck it out of your hand or whatever. And when I first started cruising, that was like the most cool experience. So that is a very cool experience. The water is crystal clear, everything. So there's that. El Cielo. Those of you that have seen one of my most recent videos in Cozumel, Mexico, Cozumel is one of my favorite ports. And I know that's like one of the most frequented ports, but you have the best all-inclusives there. Like, I mean, people love Paradise Beach, people love Mr. Sancho's, and there's a host of other ones that people love. I mean, if you're going to go there, like $65, all you can drink, all you can eat. You're at the beach, you got a lounge chair, you got shade. The waiter or waitress just keeps bringing you food, your drinks, whatever. I mean, it's great. Now, El Cielo is an experience in itself. For about that same price, you will get on a boat and they will take you to a couple different snorkeling spots. One is a traditional snorkeling spot where on this most recent one, I saw a nurse shark swimming around along with a bunch of other fish and stuff like that. So that was cool. And then they take you to this place or this area just outside of El Cielo where there are hundreds of starfish and stuff just, chilling out just under the water. And so if you like starfish, you get to see, a couple hundred of those possibly, depending upon how far you swim or whatever, but you'll certainly see a few dozen at the very least. And then they take you to El Cielo, which is like the world's biggest pool because the water is that crystal clear. And I mean, you have stingrays swimming around your feet, literally swimming around your feet. And if you don't believe me, watch my most recent video on El Cielo when I was in Cozumel. And just look how pretty that water is and everything else like that. And you just hang out there and we're just partying and we're drinking and we're eating fresh made ceviche and guacamole with chips and all that other stuff and just having a great time. So it's a great time, a great party. So that's one of my favorite excursions. And then the Amber Cove waterfalls. It's Dama Agua or something like that. So Amber Cove. Amber Cove is not my favorite port, but they do have one of my favorite excursions of all time. And those of you that haven't, if you're still to the point health wise where you can be a little adventurous, you hike up about a mile. Hike is a strong word. It's a moderate walk. I would say a semi-challenging, depending upon your fitness level. I wouldn't say it's too challenging, but it can get you breathing a little bit. But it's a paved little pathway, so I don't think it's too hard. And then you go up, I don't know, half mile, 3/4 of a mile, and they even give you a break if you need one and stuff. And once you get up there, you get to the top of this, these waterfalls are just flowing down the mountain. And you walk up to one, and they built these slides to go down the side, or you can jump right in off the waterfall. And they have these little platforms you jump in, and they show you where to jump in and everything else like that. It's a lot of fun. And one of the jumps is like 40 feet, and it's a little scary. But I don't like heights, and I did it, so I think anybody could do it. But it is a total cool experience because it's in a natural habitat. It's not man-made or anything like that. So, and I mean, the water, you just come out of there feeling like a new person. I mean, there's something about that mineral water that's in those waterfalls that you just come out of there, you just feel like $1,000,000. So that is a really cool experience. And the final one is Shark Ray Alley in Belize. So if you go to Belize, and if you go up by this little cay called Cay Caulker, it's this charming little town on this little ocean cay. And they have restaurants, things like that. You could even stay there if you wanted. But just off of the coast of that little Cay Caulker is this place called Shark Ray Alley. And they have probably a couple dozen or more nurse sharks swimming around right there in that area. And then stingrays also. So it's a combination of Stingray City, but nurse sharks. And nurse sharks, for those of you that don't know, they're not the type of sharks that'll bite you. They look almost like catfish in the front, but they're kind of big. I mean, they probably weigh as much as 100 pounds, full grown or whatever. But it's cool because they look like sharks, but they're not the sharks you got to worry about eating you or biting you even. So you can just go out there and they're swimming, bouncing off of you and everything. It's a total cool experience. So of those excursions, probably my favorite is Shark Ray Alley. El Cielo is right there. Shark Ray Alley and El Cielo. It's a tight call there. But yeah, if you haven't done either of those excursions, when you get to Belize or you get to Cozumel, definitely check that out. All right, let me check the comments here while I take a drink. And let's see what we got here. Carnival Cruise Addict says those stingrays are cool. And Heather had voted for the Vista class and likes the Horizon as well. Adventures with Uncle Dave. Yes, El Cielo. I'm booking that next time I'm in Cozumel. I loved your video on that. I appreciate that. And yeah, I mean, a few people since I've released that video have messaged me saying, hey, can you give me more information? And I shared the contact, my guy that I use down there. So I will do that for you if you all message me. Oh, look, Danny D, the spectacular supporter. Yo, Danny D has arrived. No fear. Danny D is here. And we're glad you made it. Okay, and I think I got through all of the comments. Okay, so I think that's about it. Congratulations, Cruise Life TV, who won the shirt drawing, and they gifted it to Kimberly Lavelle. So, and look at that, Danny D. Look at that. What a way to end the show. Danny D, the spectacular supporter, has become a YouTube member. So she is the newest member of the Coach Cruise family members only page. So I appreciate that. And yeah, That's cool. Oh, another one, a video that I was gonna do is I was gonna just show you around the studio here and then show you, right before a show starts and everything, and then just video all that, getting everything ready. That'll be a video upcoming. So I'm trying to think of some of these videos that'll kind of give you a kind of behind the scenes, and then also some informal ones of just kind of the different stuff I do on a daily basis and stuff like that. And then I want to share some videos, like I said, with you, like Mark Q, for example. There's this video, and I actually sent it into Carnival, and I said, hey, my camera was just running and I got some really good information here. I was like, I don't think any of it's bad. Could I approve this? Could you let me show this? And it's not even the type of video that would get a ton of views or anything like that. It's for people like us that are like avid cruisers that just love that stuff. So that is going to be, since Carnival didn't approve it or whatever, I'm sharing it with you members. I'm sharing it, I mean, like I said, it's not going to be a public thing. It's going to be a private thing. So I think viewed in that limited capacity, I don't think Carnival would have much of a problem with it. They shouldn't have had a problem with it anyway. And they didn't say they did. They just didn't respond to me. So I'm going to share it. So yeah. And then Adventures with Uncle Dave says, yes, studio tour. The studio tour isn't going to take very long, but I think I'll just show you like my vantage point, what I'm looking at. And like I've said before, I can, I'm touching a wall right here. And over here, I'm not touching a wall, but if I lean far enough over, I could be touching a wall. So this little space is, trust me, it's a little space, but yeah, I'll definitely do that. And so Cruise Life TV, Chris Moss, Rick, the Texas Cruising, Danny D, the Spectacular Sporter, North Shore Travelers, Rick again, Tim, Admin Tim, Chris Moss, Michelle B, and Michelle is 1 through 5 on our next round of super chats. She's the only person carrying over for the super chats, but we had a whole bunch of people join as members. Danny D, the most recent one, the Texas Cruiser. We had Chris Moss. We had Trisha and Bert. Let me try to go through and catch as many of these as I can. Carnival Cruise Addicts have joined. And anybody else that wants to join, we would love to have you. We're definitely up around a dozen now, I think. Chris, I already mentioned. Adventures with Uncle Dave is a member. Trisha and Bert, I mentioned. Chris Moss, I mentioned. Texas Cruiser, I mentioned. Cruise Life TV, I mentioned. Christy Curry is one. Mandy is one. Admin Tim is one. Eric from North Shore Travelers is a new member. Thank you again, all of you new members. It's a lot of fun. And honestly, I'm having a lot of fun making more of these informal videos and Mandy, as I mentioned, is one, that a lot of you, that the members are only going to get to see. And again, if there's something you would like to see or whatever, just let me know. And, I'm probably not opposed to seeing it. So I think that's about it. I scrolled through almost all the comments there, but thank you, everybody. I know we went over, but I was also 7 minutes late getting started. Wait, we got some new comments here. So let me just see what the new comments were. Just saying, hey, Danny D. Hey, Tony, Sean Abel. Okay. All right. I think we're good. All right. So I hope you enjoyed the show, everybody. Again, new members, thank you so much. All the super chatters that I just called off, thank you very much. And we'll see you all next week. Take care. Peace. And